What's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Megan just got back from Vegas over here.
I did.
You just got, when did you?
The weather's a lot different over here.
Just a little.
Yeah, a lot different. I can't believe actually how humid. Like the temperature is the same, but it feels so completely different. But it's nice to be back. I'm happy to be back home.
Megan just landed at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I just got in, so it's
So right into it, guys. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend, ready to crush this week ahead. We got a lot of good topics here. Meg, let's start. We're gonna do something different here now. We're gonna start running through the topics first.
Yeah.
If you just tuned in, obviously, you can understand what we're gonna be talking about today.
All right, cool.
So let's dive through the topics first.
All right, we have some details about Meta today. Zuckerberg's first interview in the metaverse. They also rebranded. I guess they were feeling a little bit of FOMO with X's rebrand.
Yep.
Their AI chat integration is now including some celebrity voices in there, which is interesting. We're talking about Google's search antitrust trial updates today, along with Ray-Ban Stories 2.0, ChatGPT entering a relevant world, and that's it. So stay tuned until the end because we have some good topics lined up.
Good topics.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll dive into the first one here. So So I was doing my research and I came across this this one article and this one thing on Zuckerberg. And so him and Lex Friedman did their first interview ever in the metaverse. Now, just to clarify, in the metaverse, what I mean though is in the past they had the cartoonish looking ones where it was like an avatar where Zuckerberg would be speaking with another person, right, in the same room in the metaverse. This is different. So this is the first ever interview where essentially it's scanned in, and then the Meta Quest 2 or Plus, Meta Quest Pros, the goggles scan your face, and it literally looks like you are 100% in the metaverse. So
crazy.
The first interview that just took place, it was these two in a dark room, and they were looking at each other as if you and I were looking at each other like this, but they had goggles on. So what is so crazy about what that means for the future is that, people are like, oh, that's never going to be a thing, whatever. But when you have clients or when you have family in a different country, if you're in America and you have a client in, Australia or somewhere else, you can now put this headset on and literally be looking at the person and their facial features and the faces they make, the remarks they make, their body language. And it's going to literally showcase as if you were just sitting in a room with them. In this interview, I encourage everybody to go to YouTube and look up Mark Zuckerberg and Lex Friedman interview in the metaverse. It's going to blow your mind.
That's crazy.
It literally blew my mind. So anyway,
that's cool though. I mean, like you said, you can use it for anything, whether it's personal or professional. And we're already doing video calls, right? We get on conference calls and look at each other. It'd be so much more personal if you were sitting next to the person.
And it's true, but the thing that's crazy about it though is when for instance, our team, obviously when we went, hybrid or not actually fully remote, we're seeing everybody's face, right? So when you go on camera, technically you're seeing everybody's face. But the difference though is that this is multi-dimensional. So when I'm looking at you, I could see obviously everything around you. In this, it's literally like that. So it's legitimately like if the guy Lex Friedman, who's typically a tough critic and is really somebody who's going to give you the blatant honest truth, he was like, this feels like we're so far in the future right now.
Wow.
And he's like, he goes, I feel like I'm in the same room with you.
That's spooky.
Anyway, it blew my mind, but let's see where that goes with meetings in the future. Right now, because of COVID, everyone wants to be on Zoom or on Google, and not many people want to be in person anymore. Now we're going to start to see a world where you don't have to be, because technically you almost feel like you are.
That's going
to be the craziest part. So it's like you're going to set up your own office environment in the meta world, right? It's like the adapting social HQ in the meta world.
Ooh.
And then literally be sitting at a table and I'm looking at you like I'm looking at you right now.
That's crazy.
How insane is that?
I wonder if that's going to hurt the travel industry, because people don't think about how many conferences there are where now you can tune in just from the metaverse and save 100%. The bill for travel,
the
right?
only way it would be massively different, in my opinion, is if you have a conference at a beautiful destination. Right?
Yeah.
I want to be in my bathing
exciting
suit,
to go
in the pool or on the beach.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's that. That's what we got from Metaverse, Oculus Quest,
all right,
Pros. insane.
Well, they also just rebranded Meta. And before I was saying that, this comes from a little bit of FOMO. We know Twitter rebranded to X, and it was a huge shift from that light blue over to the black with the white X. And Meta's rebrand is not as prevalent. It's a little bit more subtle. Some consumers probably won't even know the difference, but their blue changed to a darker hue, and they also expanded their color palette to a full monochromatic approach where it's just shades of the different blues,
Right.
but they enhanced them a little bit more and made the F of their logo for Facebook bigger so that it stands out just a little bit more. So you may notice some changes on the app, or if you are on your desktop searching through Facebook. If it doesn't look that much different to you, pull up the old logo and put them side by side. But it's interesting to see that Meta is kind of following in X's footsteps, which
Come on.
they've been going bat to bat ever since.
Well, no, Zuckerberg is always after, if there's something else happening in the market, I mean, listen, in some ways, people who don't know him are like, well, he's a snake.
Big cat.
He's always grabbing everybody's stuff or doing whatever. But again, at the end of the day, that's why he's the Zucks. But he's always going to make those changes when it's happening. And it's funny that it's subtle. So most people make
it's so subtle.
Yeah.
It's almost, listen, I like a nice rebrand. Their color palette's really pretty. This one seems so unnecessary. Like it seemed like they did it just so they can say, hey, we rebranded, go check it out, like to pull eyes onto their new brand, but it's so unnecessary. But they also just released this, we talked about this last week, their AI chat integration with up to 30 different personalities. A few of them actually include celebrity personalities. So this comes more and more when we're seeing celebrities partake in AI related tools, whether that be J-Lo and Virgin Cruises and their commercials and the AI, or, so they're either licensing their face and their voice or their brand voice through chat now. So if you're a business, you can choose to have a certain celebrity respond.
Well, their most recent commercial on that, where he was talking about like having Meta in your home and like AI be able to do stuff for you, like make a suggestion on what you should make for dinner with these certain supplies that they have. And I don't know if this is just a cute commercial, but based on what I've been looking up in research and what you're saying, there's a bunch of different, like you're saying, celebrities. Like one is Tom Brady, where like, am I going to hear Tom Brady's voice? And I'm like, hey, turn off the lights, turn on the lights, or hey, make a suggestion. Am I hearing Tom Brady like pumping me up here? I don't know. But
wouldn't that be amazing?
Wild.
That really would be.
See, I wouldn't, if I was that celebrity, I don't know if I love that. I mean,
I would not
weird
license it
in a way for your voice to be able to use for anything, but also at the same time, like just thinking about like some people use their AI stuff like Siri or Google Assistant or Alexa while they're in the shower, like turn on this music or do this or do that. And to hear Tom Brady's voice or some celebrity's voice all the time, like for them to be the people thinking about that, I don't know. It's just like, you could also manipulate and use the voice to do different things.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's your voice. So theoretically, whatever you say is on you, but it's AI generated. It could say whatever it wants to say, whatever the response is. So
totally,
that could come back to bite you in the butt in the future.
Totally.
All right. We have Google's search antitrust trial updates.
So if you guys don't know this, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is if you're a business who is advertising or you're utilizing Google, or if you have an agency like us that's running your Google ads and stuff, or just obviously if you're on a website and you're doing your own search engine optimization, one of the things that are happening right now is that Google's in a massive lawsuit. And right now the government is, challenging them at the moment for monopolizing search. So right now Google owns 90% of search. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
Globally. If you think about any business, if they own 90% of the market share, that is why,
that's wild.
That's why most businesses back in the day, like Rockefeller, they had to break up all the gas companies because Rockefeller had, John Rockefeller he owned gas and oil pretty much in the US. So, Roosevelt and everybody else came in and said, no, we're breaking this up. We need to give other people the opportunity to get into this industry. Google has 90%. And so what they're saying and why they're in court, and they have major people like Tim Cook that's going to be, having to, speak on behalf of this, and why Tim Cook from Apple, because they're saying that Google has done backhanded deals with major devices, like obviously Apple and other companies like that, to get ahead by offering multi-billion-dollar deals to make them the primary search feature. So it's helped them corner the market, or not even corner, it's pounced. Okay, it's like pounced the market. But so right now, and again, I don't know if anybody reads up on this stuff, or I'm just the only nerd that does this, but like right now, Bing lost a massive deal to be acquired by Apple, and they're blaming companies for things like this, because Google is just dominating. They're blaming Google because Bing has all these deals backdoor.
Right.
So anyway, long story short, right now the internet and search as we know it has a possibility to change. If it can be proven that Google is what the government's looking at as like colluding, right? Then they have the ability to die. I don't know what could happen. Nobody knows yet. Technically, It's the first time something that's ever happened with search. We've seen it with Meta and Facebook at the time, with their policy stuff, and,
right.
Going into too much information and your privacy. But with Google and them just cornering a market, what does that mean for Google? What does that mean for search? So we're going to keep you posted on this. But this is huge, because a lot of business owners and a lot of people, they use Google to find pizzerias. They use Google to find
anything,
places to stay, everything, right? So if that changes, I'm not going to Bing. I'm not going to Yahoo. Rob searches on Yahoo.
I know a few people that use Bing, but also Google just started talking about a partnership with TikTok like last week, right?
Yeah.
So they're still finding ways to pounce the market and pounce search, right? Because
listen, I'm not trying to go back in time like Rob and you go on Yahoo. I just can't do it. So the whole thing is, at the end of the day, it's like, but that might be a thing though. What's wild though is we might find ourselves in a place where, and this is the craziest thing, right? We might find ourselves in a place, right, where like the future generation of Gen Z and the ones before Gen Z, will Yahoo make a comeback because of stuff like this? That's the weird part. We just don't know. So if they find out that Google is monopolizing, they find reasons to believe that, we might find ourselves in a position where Google, no matter what, the people who are loyal to Google and love Google are going to stick to it, obviously.
Right.
That will be me. And Google, their defense is that 90% of people use their, product because it's superior to everything else, which I think I agree with.
I agree with that too.
But then you think about it, right, in reality, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's superior? It's a search engine.
I was just going through in my head.
Really,
I'm like, when was the last time I really did do a search through Yahoo or Bing? And
for anybody watching right now, I would love to get your comments on this. If you guys, anybody here, if you use, put what you use. Are you a Google user? Are you a Yahoo? Are you a Bing? Are you somebody who uses, there's that one, oh my goodness, a DuckDuckGo. There's a Mozilla Firefox. It's more of a browser, but still it's a search too. And then there's one more. Remember Ask Jeeves? We were talking about the Chris the other day.
Oh my gosh.
AskJeeves.com.
Is that still around?
I don't know. I hope not. But if you use any of those things, let's see what you use. Let's see if anybody else uses things outside of Google.
So far, we're getting Google.
Elias, Google, me too, all day, Elias. I'm Google all day, through and through. But not when it comes to my phone, because obviously, if you're an Android user, right? If you use an Android, first off, I'm sorry for you. Number two, if Google owns Android, obviously. So like the Android phones, the software and stuff, that's Google. But that's the funny part, is that's the part that like I think Apple is trying to do in purchasing Bing, is that they're trying to stay away from Google products when in all reality they're still making deals. But anyway, interesting. We have Google lighting up here. Jacqueline and Google all day. All right, good stuff.
All right, cool. This next trend that we have is pretty cool. It kind of goes in line with the metaverse in that you're putting on these glasses, but they're Ray-Bans instead. They're the Ray-Ban Story 2.0 glasses, and you can live stream to Facebook or Instagram directly from your sunglasses. And what's even cooler is that these sunglasses, you can also see the comments coming through in the previews. So it would be as if you're looking at your phone screen and live streaming, but it's just all happening through your sunglasses. So you can be hands-free. I see a lot of the like adventurer type people doing this, like to be hands-free, you're hiking, or even just vlog style, right? Like you can see through somebody else's lens. Yeah. Literally.
There's one person that comes to mind when I think about who would use this.
Who?
And there's nobody on planet Earth more than your Chris. I think it's somebody
probably
who has a Subaru.
Yeah.
Definitely wears Patagonia.
Yeah.
Is hiking, has the shepherds, right? Like going out there into the world. Like,
Ah,
but like, because the people that I see using it, you know that one vlogger in New York, Casey? Have you ever heard of this
I
guy?
don't know.
Do you know that guy, Casey? He's like a hardcore vlogger.
Casey Neistat.
Yes. So like he's the guy repping it up. Like he's literally like your whole vibe and Chris's whole vibe.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, you know, he's got the Nature Valley bar everywhere, like, you know, just the Megan and Christian.
Would you
But
wear them? I feel like I could see you wearing them,
I-
but for a different reason, like
I
for
don't-
vlog style, like you're going into business meetings, like maybe
Well,
you can't live stream all the time.
So this is the thing. I think they're cool, but the perspective of it is more, the POV is like you're seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the content that we create is us talking about like things and like,
True.
you know, and so it's the opposite. The camera's on us and we're talking about something.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was somebody who like dirt biked or went on cool mountain hikes, or I don't know, like, you know, it's like, I don't think those glasses, like if I put them on right now,
Yeah.
like I don't think I have interesting enough views. You know what I mean? Like,
You don't
I'm not-
think that this is a great view?
you know what I mean? Like, you know, look at this. Like, nobody wants to see this. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, I just think like the people who are like skateboarders and action people and like
Yeah.
hikers and like, you know, all this other stuff.
Or even
those-
certain businesses too. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Like, it just depends. Like what you're looking at. Like if you have a dope view, then like
Mhm.
it's cool, right? Like if they made, I mean, it wouldn't work with the surfing yet, unless you could put like the straps on and they're waterproof.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Like,
That
if
would
you were
be cool.
surfing and like, I don't know, but like those types of views make sense. But remember Snapchat did something like this a while back?
Yeah, with the snap glasses.
Yeah,
or
and like
something,
yeah. it busted. Like nobody.
Yeah.
I know one person who got the snap goggles or whatever, and I never saw him again.
Were they
you?
branded by?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
Um.
I'm getting told not to say like too much. You know what? Like I like saying like. Anyway,
I don't know if those were branded though. These are Ray-Bans are nice quality.
They
to
are.
begin with,
They are.
right? These.
Totally.
Oh, by the way, these aren't out yet. They come out on October 17th. So in the next 2 weeks, these will be released for $299 is what they're starting at.
that's actually Ray-Bans are already
Right up there.
$300 or
Mhm.
$250.
That's
or
why
$200.
it's like it's not that much of a difference. And if you are somebody who can benefit from live streaming
Mhm.
behind the scenes content, maybe you're a content creator, maybe you go to around to different conferences or trade shows,
I just don't
or
know what I would use them for.
or
When would
let's
I-
say
when would I
you-
go live with them.
well, you no.
But
But-
when would you?
Well, I would for me, no, but if we were if we were somebody who worked with our hands, maybe you know, we created different products like
I would al-
woodworker, glass blower, that would be cool to see.
So the only way that I would actually use them is to record moments. So there are other things too where you can actually ask it questions and stuff. So for instance, the one commercial showed him at what's that one thing in New York?
What?
That's in Paris too. It's that one Arc in the city.
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but I know
you know what I'm
exactly
talking
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Dang it, it's gonna bother me now.
I think it's like the Arc de Triomphe or something.
Check that out, yeah. But anyway, in the commercial,
This, right?
yes, what is it called?
Well, in France, it's
Triomphe.
the Arc de Triomphe. Yeah.
Okay.
In New York, I don't know what it's called.
Anyway, but you go up to it, and not only will it. So actually, you know what? Time out. There's way more functions. There's way more functions actually that this possesses, and I forgot about that. So I don't want to actually diminish it. I'm probably going to get them now that I'm thinking about this, because there's another side of it now. Because in the commercial,
This is the consumer journey.
if you're in, for instance, if you're in Paris, right?
Yeah.
Like, Megan can't speak a lick of French.
No.
Doesn't know how to read it. Nothing, right?
Nope.
So if you're in Paris or in France,
Yeah.
and you got this stuff on, it actually transcribes for you in the glasses. And I saw that. And
It
on
could do
top
that.
of that, you can ask it questions. So it has like that, you know, Siri or whatever it is going to be in the glass. So it does have some features that are cool outside of just going live.
Right.
I wouldn't use the go live feature, right? I mean, unless, that's the thing, you can take pictures. So if I'm out on a vacation with my family and like, you know, I see a cool moment, my phone's in my pocket, and I can just be like, boom, or like snap a photo or something like that. That's cool.
That is cool.
Those moments are cool. You know what I mean?
That is really cool. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, those. Okay, now we got to get them. You know what, everybody? $2.99.
We'll try them out.
We're gonna try them out. We'll
We
test
should try them
first.
out.
I'm gonna have to. I mean, because you can do those cool things with it. So now we're gonna try it.
Right. All right. What do we have next here? ChatGPT is finally entering a relevant world. It's like, welcome to the new world,
Whoa.
ChatGPT.
Yep.
Which is incredible. So if you didn't know and you were using ChatGPT, any information it was pulling was from 2021
Yep.
and
something like
behind.
that. Yep.
So it wasn't pulling any relevant information, and there's just been an update, and now information will be unlocked for 2021 to today. Very current.
Which is wild.
Incredible, because it'll be able to pull up trends. And if you have tried to put a URL into ChatGPT and say, like, tell me about this article, it'll say we cannot surf the web, we cannot crawl the
Right.
web. Now it can.
Right.
But
That's why Google's a little scared too. Google's like, whoa, wait a second.
yeah, and
Which I've been using it too.
have you
In place of Google.
in place of Google?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
For certain questions, like a health question,
Yeah.
I'll ask it, or like a question that I think, I don't know.
Is it because it's more tailored? Like it's a tailored response to you?
It's somebody giving me a specific response
instead of you having to search through.
rather than me going through and having to search, and then have be a hypochondriac.
See, that would be a good partnership for them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm coughing. You're
yeah.
dying.
And it's like you have one of 80 diseases.
Yep.
But so web admins will have the option to opt out of AI data scraping to protect any gated content or information that they have. And this is really powerful. Think about how many companies use gated content as a way for lead generation,
Totally.
right? Put in your email, we'll give you this information.
Freemium version.
Uh-huh.
Blah, blah, blah.
Now, if ChatGPT is able to just spit it out to you, there's no reason for somebody to put in their email if they can get it through ChatGPT. So web admins do have the option to opt out. There's a lot of big brands that have already opted out of this, some including Pinterest, Indeed, USA Today, NPR, WebMD opted out, and
WebMD knows
CBS
be out of
News.
business. WebMD be out of business like they already are for me.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of news-related companies opt out of this, which makes sense. They want to be the ones to report the news and not have ChatGPT sharing all of the information.
Wait, time out. Just if nobody's ever done this, for anybody here who has used ChatGPT once in a while or has used it frequently, the one recommendation I have if you want a good laugh is if you tell ChatGPT to start speaking to you like a Gen Z, you start to get different things, and it'll say things like, how you doing, bruh? Like, and it'll answer. So if you're like, hey, write me something Shakespearean, but with like a Gen Z tonality, it's wild.
Oh, I'm gonna try that.
But then you can ask it to talk to you that way moving forward. So like every time you address it, it'll just talk to you like a Gen Z, you know, and it'll abbreviate things. Like, so as an example, I was testing it and I was like, write me a motivational quote with a Gen Z tonality on resilience. And essentially it said, instead of trials and tribulations, it said trials and tribs. And so like that's how insanely smart it is, right?
That's really funny.
Trials and tribs.
Trials and tribs.
Trials and tribs. Anyway, but so
we're gonna hashtag that.
It's gonna be but yeah, and for anybody out there who is still looking into or seeing what's going on in Congress with, you know, everybody wanting to slow. Brandon, you just scared the living blank out of me. I saw a head pop in. But right now, for the people in Congress, they have, you know, still trying to slow down AI. Elon Musk is scared, which scares the living, you know what, out of me. If Elon Musk is scared and he's like an alien from another planet, you know, with all the stuff he's done here. So there's a lot of people wanting to slow down AI, but there's only one company that doesn't. It's OpenAI, the ones freaking doing all this.
Yeah, of course, because it's their business. But you have to think there's so much that we just really don't know about AI. I saw an interview this morning, and it was with a research group and an AI robot that they built, and they were asking them the deepest fear, and the robot was like, "My deepest thoughts are that robots will take over humans because we're smarter and faster, and there's not going to be a need, and humans will become like obsolete essentially." And that's crazy to think about.
Well, the only thing though, it is crazy. The only thing I think about though, when I think about this, is that robots need a power source.
They do. I don't think they could ever fully take over our world.
But you don't know. I mean, people like it's possible.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
Yeah, I have not. Actually, I'm not.
You should.
I'm surprised you haven't.
Oh, you would love it.
Brandon,
for anyone who hasn't watched Black Mirror, check it out. Each episode is different, and they talk about different innovations of what the future could look like, and it's a different iteration each time, and it hits so close to home that some of it is not realistic, and some of it you're like, yeah, that could happen.
This sounds like a Robbie Long John show. Has Angelica seen this?
Yeah,
What?
you guys would like it.
All right, we got to check this out.
Add it to your Netflix list.
On the list.
All right, that's all we have.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Happy Monday. Meg, you just got back from Vegas. You got to hit us with a little inspiration for the week. Come on.
Wow.
This time I'm going to hit you with it. This time I'm going to hit her with it.
What a day. What a day to
Rob is so
what a day
You look like a kid.
to hit me with some motivation and inspiration. All right, let me see. I got to dig deep for this
Dig
one.
it out of the. By the way, if you're sitting next to Megan, she smells like a bunch of Heinekens and cigarettes from the casino, apparently.
Okay, what's the motivation for today?
Did anything pop out to you while you were in Vegas that's inspiring or motivating? Besides live, laugh, love.
I don't know. The 4 agreements stood out to me, but I feel like I live my life by that. So I don't know if that's enough motivation for today. But the 4 agreements, if you haven't read the book, it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And he talks about 1, don't take things personally, always be impeccable with your word, always try your best. And the 4th one is totally blanking me right now. So if anybody knows the 4th one and they want to chime in.
Is this what you gave out at your wedding?
It is.
And she don't even know the 4th.
I know.
May the 4th be with you.
May the
No, honestly, I'm busting your chops, but I love it actually. And the one thing that you said though that we'll pick out from that is when you think about like when you are impeccable with your word, right? And what that does when you're so in integrity with everybody around you, what that does for you in your own little network and community is insane. The people that show up for you when you show up and show out for them, like it's insane. And in business, actually, I've seen that time and time again. Like I know people at the top of my head that I think about that I've known every time I need them or every time they say they're going to do something, they do it. In my mind, we all have this like vision of these people in our minds and like, you know, what you think of them and a couple scenarios that you had with them that stands out. And in business, a lot of times it comes down to you think about who actually does what they say they're going to do.
Right.
So I love that.
And you can undoubtedly rely on them.
Right.
Right. If you're impeccable with your word. And that also means, though, like sometimes when you get emotional, maybe you're frustrated or upset and you just say things, what you put out into the universe comes back at you. So,
totally.
And the 4th one there was don't make assumptions. So don't assume.
What does that do,
take
Megan?
things personally. It makes a bleep out of you and me.
Yeah. But no, I like that to kick off. Guys, this week, be impeccable with your word, right? High integrity makes a lot of trust around you, and a lot of trust around you helps you go further. So happy Monday, guys. You know, at the end of the day, I hope you crush this week, and we shall see you on Monday at 9 a.m. next week, guys. Happy
See you
Monday.
then.